everybody. It's me, Trader Max from the Shogun Gun Show here today on April 17th, 2025. It's a couple days after taxes. Yeah, I got my stuff in, I guess, and it's all there. But listen, we are here with an awesome show today. I'm very excited about what's about to come. I'm getting some feedback, Mr. Quinton. Sorry. Let me see if that's it. Yep, that was it. If you're on your phone, make sure that it's not playing back out through your mic there as well. All right, but listen, Mr. Quinton and I are very glad to be here today. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's a nice, pretty afternoon.
It definitely is. We have a lot of stuff to cover. Now, before we get started, and I introduce these wonderful coins today, I want to let everybody else know that we are going to be changing up the segments and the systems that we have that we've been doing with the Shogun Shill show for a little while now, since January, almost 4 months now. And sort of what the state of this market is with shill, just straight shills, like somebody coming on for 10 minutes and just talking about their coin, blah, 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 right? I want to make relationship with each and every one of these coins. And that's what we're here to do in each one of these communities. And we want to talk about the things that we provide at Shogun, but we also want them to really start focusing on collaboration, communication, relationship. These are all things that are very important, especially since they're lost in the world of crypto at times. We're also going to change up some of our segment here to be more newsworthy of the state of crypto, since we sort of are in bed with a lot of these coins and we work with these collaborations. It's always good to know who has what skills and have what availabilities to make a good collaboration and network. That's the real thing here. We're then also going to be talking about new things to come out. And we used to have in our alpha section a process that we'd say within 2 weeks, we may have to shorten that down because, there's some people that are like, yeah, in the next 2 weeks, and two weeks go by and it's still not there. So these are things that must be already ready for fire. Like it's like today, tomorrow, the next day. We might have like a 3-day window. I don't know. But that's the state of what crypto is. We're also going to be doing that newsworthy part. It's called the state of Shogun because we feel we are crypto now. We've been here long enough and we have built enough things. As we get started here, I think who just lose? Just Milo? Okay. As we get started, we're going to do just a quick introduction of all the great people here today. Our panelist, one of our panelists today is a good friend of ours from our collaboration with Tired Dads. We got Jay. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm great. Still a little bit hungover from last night's karaoke session.
Wow.
I'm very good. Happy to be here again.
Yeah, for my wild haymaker days, out there singing karaoke. Amazing, buddy. I appreciate the honesty there. I got a hungover a little bit by staying up too late and playing games with my family. That's about it.
Oh, what games you were playing?
Well, we were playing Minecraft last night, which is fun with I have two younger, I have an older 20-year-old, Mr. Quinton, and then we have his girlfriend, my wife, and my son. We live all in the same house, and we all have our network here, and we all play. We're gamers, we're streamers, we're everything. So it's just a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with it.
Nice. But that's amazing.
I'm glad to see you here today. We're going to come out and talk about the state of crypto, which I hope that there's a lot of good stuff that's happening in this industry. Whether or not you feel the market is bad or not, we're going to open your eyes up to that just a little bit. We also have a reoccurring theme coming back to us that we haven't seen for a little while. We got Speed from CTO. How you doing, buddy?
All good, Trader Max. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing really good, man. It's been a while since we saw you and that little beautiful dog. I'm glad that you're here and you're sharing your time with us today. Letting us know what's going on in your neck of the woods, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, it has been some time. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have a reoccurring person here from a couple of weeks, or not even less than a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure how long, but Sober is back, letting us know that they've started to make some movement. I'm really happy to have you here, Sam. How are you, buddy?
Thank you for having me, man. I'm going good.
So it's a good thing. I checked your chart out right before we got into the show, and it looks like you got a good rise coming. It's nice and sturdy. We're going to talk about with you today, building your foundation and getting stuff in there, and whatever we could do to help you over there. Remember that there's a lot of stuff coming that we're going to be able to put in a lot of your hands that are out there, especially you, Sober, because there is just a great source of give back that comes from your coin, not just about the sober entity of it, but the network of charity and helping people out is always right up my alley.
Yes, thank you, man.
No worries.
Sorry for my camera is not working today. I don't know why.
Hey, no worries. We'll get it figured out. All right. So we also have back a friend of ours from Bougie. How you doing today?
Great, man. How are you doing?
How do I refer to you? What do I call you today?
Dolly,
Dolly,
D-A-L-I. Dolly Tom is kind of short for the Dalai Lama. It's a long story, but a funny one.
I dig it. I dig it. It's all good. I have to make sure that we go on high and get you up on the mountain. We can start talking.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all good.
Under the Bodhi tree, whatever. I'm
There
a
you
game
go.
for mountains or trees.
I dig it.
Yeah.
All right. We also have Dark Raven from Milo Moonshine. How you doing today? A brand new person with us today. Welcome.
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. So good to be here.
Great to have
Love
you.
love what you do, man.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. There is so much that we're going to be going through today. So I want you all to have, I don't have the media up that I normally would have. I think this is like the intro that I made a couple of weeks ago about the state of Shogun. Let's see how it sounds and what it looks like. We'll be right back. All right, I guess that was it. I wanted you to all know that the State of Shogun segment here is all about the industry, the state of crypto, a little bit of everything. And it has been such a crazy week over the last, I think since, Bitcoin dropped down to 75,000 last week, off of that 100, we're close to 100,000. Everybody was sort of watching it with bated breath. Does anybody here hold any Bitcoin at all? In your network, in your world?
Yeah, I do. I've been in it since 2011, so it's no complaints with a $75,000 price.
No, right? Because listen, come on, I was
It's
mining
actually
it.
a very small pullback comparatively speaking. I mean, just 3 years ago we went from 60,000 down to 13. So
Oh yeah, I mean, come on,
this is a small retracement.
right? Well, it's for us old heads, right? Because we've been in it for so long. I was mining it, right? I sold at $1, right? And again, I sold 4,400 of it at $1. So it was, So punch me in the back, right? But the concept was, when I seen this pullback come in, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, the world of crypto is failing." When I seen Solana pull back to 98 the other day, everybody's like, "Oh my God!" It's like, listen, it was $1 one day, right? So come on. Stay with the state. Don't worry about it. It's all going to have these big pullbacks. I think a lot of it was, that China trade tension that was happening, was the pullback a little bit because nobody knew what was going on, what was happening. And everybody gets that worried, like, okay, I got to take it out of this. They think the whole world's going to fall apart, all those naysayers. So, but then it just started to rally and it came back and it was, I don't think it was so much coming back up because of the pause in tariffs. I just think that and again, I'm non-political, right? I swing a little right, but I swing a little left. I'm bi-racial when it comes to the whole thing. But I think a lot of it was the pausing of the tariffs, the movement of the policies of everybody, not knowing what the tariffs were really meant to do and what they were meant to control. Wasn't about just being a dictator, but was controlling fair trade policy, which is a big thing in my neck of the woods, and I've dealt with a long time. Another thing that's really sort of happened is that the whole thing with the SEC and XRP, does anybody hold any XRP? And by the way, if you don't hold Bitcoin, what's the matter with you? Go get yourself, instead of flipping in all these coins, these altcoins and or even just like these meme coins, take $20, $30 and maybe $5 a day and start putting it in and DCAing into Bit, just a little bit at a time, or one of your favorite, altcoins or narrative coins like that, like XRP or even, Dogecoin and that kind of stuff. The state of crypto where it's going is huge because it's not just about, all the normies are going to get it and it's going to be wild. it's going to become a regulatory thing. It's going to become very real for a lot of people. There'll be a lot of offboarding now, besides all this backdoor getting credit cards and gift card stuff. But the state of XRP and that whole SEC and the backdoor dealings and all that stuff is there's still a lot to unplay. Does anybody else have any thought on the XRP world that's happening right now?
Well, I think we owe a lot of credit to Brett Garlinghouse for the battle that he put up. I mean, he really kind of defeated the Howey test and freed up, a lot of companies from SEC prosecution. So I think all of us should be very thankful for XRP. They really have had a very strong commitment to the payment rails, use case. And I've owned it since 2017. I bought a bunch of different stuff in 2015 and just let it sit, on a cold storage. So I don't even remember how much I have, but I think it's they spent a lot of money on that legal case to battle it and did the crypto industry a lot of good. So whether you like XRP or not, you should be thankful for them because they put up a hell of a battle.
Yeah, and that's the big one, right? There's a lot of companies out there, and I'm going to give a little bit of props, for the administration finding crypto friendly, people to put in. Paul Atkins, into the SEC position, super huge. Not just because we want to align everything just to be for Trump or what have you. This is for all of us. You want people in there that are very friendly with crypto because we need it to become. Yes, we do need regulation, but we don't need overreach. That'd be a little bit too much. And I know that the current administration is very, very friendly when it comes to non-governmental overreach. That's a good point. But the downside is like once it goes out, it's going to be manipulated. It's already manipulated some way from the scammers and shammers, but at least it'll be trackable and held accountable at this point. I don't know what anybody else have any feelings about any of the new SEC regulational stuff that's coming? And because there was a lot, I think there was. Let me see here. I think because the IRS, I guess the broker ID for decentralized exchanges, they limited about what the broker really meant, so they can get some of these DEXs that are in there now, which is pretty cool. These exchanges like again, Radium and Jupiter and all those guys, they really needed to have a little bit more regulatory control. But now that now they've become brokers, I think there's more a movement that can really make crypto a reality for us, which then trickles down to us meme coins and us little slower ones like Solana and stuff like that. I think it's always a good thing. Jay, you deal in financial stuff, don't you? What do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I'm a sales director and a coach. I try not to deal with the financial stuff.
Right.
I try to deal with people. I'm not that. I don't follow politics. I don't care about what is going on in the SEC or generally in the world because I just focus on people. So don't really get any deep insights from me when it comes to regulations.
Right.
And everything. I think just what you said in the beginning, and this might take for the whole conversation regarding crypto. Eventually, it's just going to be the way that the world operates. That
it's going to be it's going to need to be a way of life, right? I think if you contribute crypto to the world of the Wild West over in the United States, law had to come in somehow, right? And at first, law came in and just like beat the shit out of everybody. Like we're going to be it's almost like a hostile takeover, and I think you do need that. You do need to have regulatory stuff that happens, but to a point where it won't stranglehold it. And I think that's something that comes down to just we, the people, have to make our solution there. And I think, as we get in charge of the control and the value of what crypto really is, how we use it, where we use it, we have to use our voting rights. And this is worldwide. This is not just the United States, right? We have to have our voice heard about what it is, because there's a lot of countries that do have, ease of use regulatory control that makes crypto a thing for them. And I think we need to kind of follow suit. United States is always like last to jump on a lot of the regulational systems and oversight for crypto. So I want to make sure that we're like ready, because once it does, I don't know what the world's going to look like. I'm excited for it, but I'm also very nervous for it.
I've been watching the All In podcast for years, and David Sachs, who's obviously the new crypto and AI czar, I mean, he has been pushing for a separate agency, separate of the SEC, and I think that's why we've seen them drop all the cases. I think his initiative will be to create, an AI-based, agency that, AI can obviously spot fraud very easily and red flag things. And when you talk about on-chain data, this will probably be one of the easiest industries to define and identify fraud. We are the most powerful financial market in the world because of regulations. So there's nothing wrong with regulations as long as the community, the leaders of the community, are involved in helping create that. And this industry is long overdue for an SRO, a self-regulatory organization that could go to the table, with this new agency and say, okay, these are the things that definitely create attrition in our industry, hurt people in our industry. And if there's ways to, prevent that, that would be wise. But you're right. We've never had, in 14 years, we've never had this many green lights. They've dropped all the lawsuits. Banks can be custodians now. We've got $3 trillion worth of dry powder sitting on the sidelines, ready for those interest rates to drop. And we've got ETFs. I mean, it's like you got all the ingredients to make the most incredible set of brownies you've ever seen in your life coming up. So I'm a big brownie fan. But
there is a company that I've been following for a little while. They've been romancing with me, and I've been talking to them. I was part of their little push to kind of get the word out there, on-chain labs. They're another fighter that's out and getting regulatory systems into the banking systems for offboarding. Onboarding, great. They already got that. It's already there. Whether or not it's in Solana yet or not, it doesn't really matter. What matters is you got these companies that are prepared to do the fight. And what the fight is to go up against the naysayer and the networks that want to keep you down. Especially with David Sachs. David Sachs is the other unsung hero. Elon Musk wannabe. I'm back with PayPal and all that stuff. He had a co-founder of PayPal. The concept there is, of course, they want it. They want it because it's a multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry to be a part of that. And if they can kind of put together a whole thing with credit card companies and PayPal, imagine what you're going to do with crypto. It's like the tobacco companies wanting all the fields for marijuana production many moons ago, right? So, they know the writing on the wall. It's there. Little coins like us, like Jay and, for Tire Dads and Speed, even for ourselves with Shogun, there is a hope that it does become that, because we find tools, we find collaborations in those. We're going to spur to that. It doesn't matter what the state of crypto comes to, because we're going to find ways to use it in our world, in our process. I wanted this segment of, the state of Shogun, the state of crypto, to really signify that there is just more than following the meta, right? Like, it's cats this week or it's dogs this week. It's really about making relationship people and finding what works and doesn't work. And that's the biggest thing. Like, we're doing a show tomorrow at 1 p.m. that's housed about nothing but collabs and what the industry of what collabs really means for this and what we provide. I noticed, we have Speed here today, and in working with Speed in the past, it's been a very fun little loving coin with the animation and the overview. How is the state of what the industry has been right now worked for you over the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, what I've seen personally is, I take it from two angles. The first is that in real life, I work for a factory and we supply a lot of goods to the US. And I'm out in Malaysia. So when the tariffs hit, they hit pretty hard on our businesses, but not as bad as China, of course. But ultimately, I think that's all red herring. Everything will come to a landing. There will be some tariffs, and then the world moves on. But what I've seen in crypto in the past 2-3 weeks is that it's shown some resilience and some maturity, and probably not as subject to the swings that you've seen before, as Dali said. And that bodes well for all the coins in the crypto space. For us, we are right at the end as a meme coin. So it's hard because there's no liquidity flowing through the market. But hopefully when it does, then we have had some benefit. And I'm not going to mash my words. We are feeling the space, that the crypto space, and as we move along. So you're right. We have to be able to evolve with the evolution of the space. And part of it for us was just the push towards AI and exploring that and seeing how we could develop our meme coin into something more. And that's something which we're still playing with.
And I think that's something that every coin wants to achieve, whether it's via entertainment, it's utility, it's service, it's charitable, whatever it is. They always want to be something more than what they start, right? That's the essence of everything, and where you want to go with it. But I think it's the work that has to be done. I don't think there's a normalcy anymore of how to get there. There's no book. There's definitely no book out there that goes, okay, if you do this, there's 7 ways to get there,
There is no book, man. And, you really have to just go with the flow. And part of going with the flow is what you spoke about, Trader Max, and that's networking and collabs. Yeah. Because we have to play and experiment in order to find that flow. You can't sit there and do nothing. You can't sit there and say, look, something which worked 3 months ago is going to work today.
Yeah, you got to be quick. You got to be quick to move too. We refer to the industry as a river, and it doesn't matter which way the river bends because you're floating or you know how to swim. Most of us treat it like we're going down the river on a little tube, like we're tubing down the river, and we meet other people and we kind of link arms and we all go, and it's fun. But what happens when the river runs dry, man? It's a bad analogy, but you got to be workable with people that can walk and can run and can build or carry and be a part of it. There's a great part of collaboration, but we as Shogun had seen the writing on the wall back in September when we said, listen, we could come in, we can make a good coin, right? We can be rightful, we can be honorable, we can have a video game, we can have all these things, but what we want to build is service tools. We want to build we say this a couple times with a very bad analogy of making the tools for the gold miners, right? Making the picks and the axes and the sieves. But now we are making some things that can make a mine work. And it's, doing automation and creating gold nuggets for companies to have as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in our section of today, where we're going to be talking about how do we produce and build for our communities. And each one of you will come out and talk at that point as well today. As we jump over,
I was going to clarify. So there actually is a book, and I wrote it. It's called Rugged: Mastering the Digital Wild West of Meme Investing. And it's 175 pages of detailed information about the tools, what are memes, what is memetics, talks about what the cabal is. And, I spent the last year writing probably the most comprehensive book on the meme industry, because I got rugged for 10 grand in my first 2 weeks. When I got into the space, and I've been 35 years in tech. I don't look that old, but I started in tech in 1990, with the internet, and, we're just seeing the evolution of, from crypto coins to NFTs to memes, and now to meme NFTs to NFT contracts. Probably got the most utility of any of the contracts. And, that's where you're going to come in with the real world assets and the STOs and just all the things that you can do in crypto. And just like the internet, I wrote a book, an Amazon bestselling book on blockchain in 2015, and it was called The Seventh Disruption. And it was about all the disruptive cycles the internet went through leading up to crypto, leading up to blockchain. And we're going to see the same model happen here. It's just it's going to be the evolution of the next use case, the one that really impacts the masses. We just haven't found that use case. And I agree with you. On-chain labs, we've actually been selected as one of the onboarded companies when they have Solana come live, which he said it'll be about 2 weeks after they go live, they'll have Solana. But that makes it very easy for people to buy, sell, hold crypto, have their paychecks wired into their crypto accounts. A lot of the stuff they're doing, there's just no PayPal of crypto right now. And in the regulations, the United States has really held that back, because this is where all the innovation really happens. But yeah, check out. I'll send you a free copy of my book, a PDF of it, and it is on Amazon.
That.
It's in 10 languages as well. So we covered all the main languages to make sure we could onboard the world.
Shameless shill, but that's okay. I dig it. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, there is a book, and then I
will stand corrected. There is a book, but not a book on how to get everybody to the world of success with the coin, because everybody's going to read it different. But yes, you're absolutely right. There are plenty of books. I've written more papers than Hershey has chocolate on financial, efficacy and working with Forex and dealing with your money and buying in and buying out, DCAing the whole 9 yards. But there's no comprehensive. If you have a comprehensive book for somebody to come into this world and get everything they need, that's great, and I'll support the hell out of it. It'll go on my list of books to support, and I can't wait. There's a private room up here. If you want to share it in, I'll try to get something in between it. Yeah. Good. That way I can get everybody. There is actually a book. I see it. All right, I got you. There's so much in this industry, because you don't know who to trust or what the experiences are. I find that shows and developmental systems like this that meet with people. We met a little bit before, and we met with your son, of course.
Yeah.
But the concept here is finding relationships and collaborations that really, really work out there. And my biggest advice is with anything is don't expect the world from a collaboration to happen immediately, and don't just shill it out on paper, right? Like, start to develop things. And we're going to be talking about that in our show tomorrow about collab, something that Jay from Tired Dad and MJ and Mac and all those guys over there, Brandon, are supporting for us as Shogun. They're one of our biggest collabs that we have. And we're going to have the king of collabs here tomorrow as well, which is Shane from the old Memezilla and Shogun in the process. Looks like we just lost. Who did we lose? Milo?
Okay. Milo, I think his battery must have gone dead.
Oh, boy, that sucks. All right. Yeah. Well, let's get into, talking to now, even in this world of the way the state of crypto is, the state of charitable events and things that are out there. We have one of the founders here of Sober Coin. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
And one of the things that, I think what a lot of people don't realize is the charitable side, the recovery side, the wanting to help others is not just a new meta. It has been around a long time. And every organization that I've ever dealt with, they always seem to find a value in helping others and finding a way to get into, I won't say like a nonprofit kind of mentality, but what is your position on, because you're trying to raise awareness and raise money at that point for your coin? Your coin is doing well. It from last time that we saw you, you've increased very well.
Last 3 days has been doing really well.
And where do you see that success coming from? What do you feel that, your current level of success over the last couple of days, I'd say back since the 8th, I'd say, because we talked about, you've been in a solid increase. In fact, let me stop talking about it and just show you. Let me share my screen. Sorry, I should have this ready. Let me share that one. I'm going to bring ours over. I have too many screens to talk about. Don't hold it against me. I'm ADD. But as we look at the chart value here, you've got a solid increase in your coin over the last several days. You had a great working channel, as we talked about last time on the show. What has been the reason for this current uptrend, do you feel?
Yeah, it's really hard for me to explain what is going on recently, but I think we're gaining more attraction from people, and people finally see us. We've been active on all platforms since 2 months almost, so people are just starting to see us, I guess. And I think it's more people working recently.
Mm-hmm.
So more people working, more eyes on us. I recently uploaded on YouTube the 2 first songs of the Sober album. Cool. So maybe it gained some traction there too. And
is it called I Hate Tequila? Or
No. The first song is called One Day at a Time, and the second song is called I'll Be Real, I'll Be Free.
That's cool.
So it's pretty much about sobriety and addiction stuff.
The last time that you were on the show was last week, and I think when was the last time? When you were on the show? Was it?
I think maybe Thursday? 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah. So the point we were talking about was the working channel that you had gotten into, and your state right now is that you were in a great state here. But when you started to really, I don't think a lot of people understood what your goal was with the coin. Was it just about sobriety, or was it about creating a place to talk and a place to converse and deal with others that are trying to run the sober life? But I think what you became right around in here on the 12th, it was only about 5 days ago, was that your message became very clear, right?
I think so, maybe.
I think because, and again, I do a lot of fundamental analysis on coins and communities and networks. Technical analysis, easy to go. I worked 4 years with TradingView as a technical advisor and analysis and building indicators and networks there. And I always look for this working channel. When this working channel really starts to become increasable, especially with somebody who's been around for a couple months, this is only 32,000 market cap. So it's not like we're talking about the next XRP today, right? But we are talking about a movement of stability here. My biggest advice on this deviation of going into the next level and getting to that next working channel is to get your foundation, the way that you communicate, where you talk to people, how you build that. Your state for the next 2 weeks is to really build out your website, your communication network, your message, your value into Twitter. These are all things that are super strong. You have 726 followers on Twitter. Keep it organic, keep it real. I love the fact that it's a coin, to even match like, AA and that mentality, having, sobriety, awards and systems for that can be absolutely wonderful and awesome. You're on Moonshot, right? You were on Moonshot, but
yeah, I'm still on Moonshot. Yeah.
Okay. So I think because you haven't really bonded yet and got to this point, I'm hoping that this success will get you to that point.
Yes.
And get you out into the world being on Moonshot. We normally don't try to help coins that aren't really bonded at that point, but we sort of made an exception for your crew there because we all have. There's a few of us that have addictions that we're suffering through and building on. Mine being the gambling side of it, the network there. But there is something to say. We have a little small bag that we got back when we first met you. We only bought a couple 100,000 coins, but it's still doing good. It's in our positive.
Nice.
So I'm glad to see it.
And yeah, it's called Sober Coin, but we rarely represent all addiction. We have some people that was addicted to sex. Some people were addicted to video games. We have all kinds of addiction. Someone was addicted to meme coin and joined us, so that's kind of funny, but
partake in
all addiction.
I'm addicted to addicted coins. I can't help it. I go to all addicted coins and buy them, and then they all kick me out. But no, I appreciate
you'd be the enabler in that point in that relationship, right?
Yeah, automatically with inadvertently being the enabler, right? I'm okay with the sex side too. If you need to get rid of those frustrations, just give me a call. No, I'm like kidding. If you ever find anybody addicted to giving away money, send them to me. I'm good.
Cool.
I'll help progress with it.
All right.
Listen, my family could probably tell you this. I am the worst at giving stuff away. Like we have a dojo and somebody comes in to the dojo and they don't have a lot of money, but they really want karate. I can't help it. I'm just a constant enabler of helping people get into the world of martial arts and networking and trying to help people, even to my own, issues and failures at that point. But you know what? I can't help it. I'm addicted to helping people. Hi, my name is Max, and I'm addicted to helping people. Hi,
that's it. You're welcome to come tell your story.
There you go. All right. Well, one of the other things that's we've been here for a little while. We have a brand new coin with us today. We have Dark Raven from Milo Moonshine. Why don't you come on out for a few minutes and just give a little deeper introduction on who you are, what the coin represents, and the network there. And then we're going to come back in a moment and we're going to talk to Bougie about their goals and what they're trying to accomplish there. We sort of already know Jay. We know Speed. We'll have Speed come out and tell us a little bit towards the end. And Speed has some stuff there. So Dark Raven, welcome to the show. What is your coin and tell us just a little bit about it?
Hey, how's it going? It's Milo Moonshine. So can you hear me good?
Yeah. I'm getting all your stuff.
So Milo Moonshine is just over a month old. Like a lot of tokens, it went up, got hit pretty hard in the beginning, and it went down to the floor. I've been part of the team since before it's even token inception, so I kind of created the whole idea and narrative and the realm behind Milo and the Neon universe. It's a token that's driven towards bringing change and awareness to music education and music and mental health, and really bringing that connection forward to connect through the NFTs, merch, or anything else that we do through our ecosystem. 1/3 of all of it is going to go straight to a charity, various charities. I'm working right now on developing a brand new website. So the one we have up there right now is the one from the token launch. Okay. But the next one it'll have a blog, and it'll have kind of the lore background and identity for all of the characters that we're creating. Several of the community members are creating characters. I have a chart in the group if anybody wanted to create one. Now is your chance, because if you do and your character gets created and launched in one of the collections, or even the first one, you'll get 1/3 of the profit from the sales of any of that NFT, as well as 1/3 go to a charity, and then 1/3 goes back to the marketing and the ecosystem of Milo.
Do you already have a charity organized already?
For Milo, a lot of people are probably familiar with Playing for Change. I'm kind of plugging right into that, as well as I'm working directly with the head of the school board and the local mental health, early education, and assisted learning for my regional area, which is the 61 on Vancouver Island in BC, Canada. And she, we had this absolutely amazing conversation just this last week about working directly together and trying to get something sorted out directly through like the school board itself. And for me, that it just hits home. It really hits home. So I'll be releasing some information about that. I gotta go in and actually talk to them this week, and hopefully I'll release some more information about that one.
Well, I wish you the
but
best.
Otherwise,
there's a lot.
It's incredible.
For music and the Playing for Change. I'm very familiar with their network. When I had my radio network, we had a lot of on givings to some of the world organization networks, and we used music. A lot of the artists that I had utilized, almost 99% of the artists that we had in our radio network, which we had 3,600 radio stations around the world, over 1 million bands that were all unsigned. And they donated their music to us and the network to help those organizations. So this is a beautiful thing, especially when you're applying the minstrel of music is always really good. That minstrel of music is so strong in because music is strong for everybody. It's like for me, music is like this like the memory smell of a crown in a box, right? Every time I hear a song that I love, or that's something that's triggered, or I hear something that calms me, or something that aggravates me. There's like some music that aggravates me. It's like a change in there. But I like that you've involved caricature and music. I want to hear a lot more when the time comes, when you get a lot more stuff to put away. As you're building your websites, one of the things that we can provide as Shogun is that we have Shogun WebForge. It's an actually free system. It's a CRM website builder network solution. You can get a hold of Mr. Quinton, and he can get you all set up in there. If you wanted a place to play, it's like a playground to build business, right? Because we found when we find coins that we want to align ourselves with, we want to give things to them so they can become better at what they do, and have that opportunity to become successful. We don't want you to be stifled because it's too much of an expense. Even $20 a month to some people, like to get a Wix site or to get the exposure. If you don't have the power, yes, you can get the Wix site, but it doesn't do 1/100th of what our system does. I want you to go look at that, and you don't have to. There's no cost for it. If you want him to build you anything, then there's a cost, right? But if you can learn everything, we have tools, we have everything back there, and I want to give that to you as a free thing for you. For this opportunity, because I really want to see this become a success.
Thank you. Yeah, I believe in everything you do. You know, I try to get into all your stuff and share as
Oh,
much as
wow.
possible.
I appreciate it.
Everything that you've done along, you know, it's just absolutely incredible. You're like wrapped up in so many communities, and I don't think you realize the level of respect that you actually have out there. People talk about you all the time.
Really?
It's
I
really
didn't
awesome.
I didn't know that. I feel kind of embarrassed now. I feel like I should, you know,
A little. Sorry,
make my
don't mean
cam go away.
to stupid. No, it's great, and I really, that's why I'm here. That's why anybody's here. We all feel it. This greater community that we're building is what it's all about. And
Okay.
if I can utilize the tools that you have, that's kind of my jam. You know, that's what I want to see. I don't want to be using all those bigger identities that we don't know who's behind them, what's going on in the back.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like the pump and dump action. We're all done with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well, we built, you know, and this is the tough part, you know, the state of crypto from last year, September, when I got into meme world or meme coins world, right? It was something that my little brother came to me and he says, "Hey, have you ever heard of a meme coin?" And I was like, "Oh, come on, man. No." Because every time my little brother comes to me, it's always some baked, you know, half-baked system of something, right? It's like we all have that relative. And I love my brother. He's with us today in the next, he's probably watching, but he came to me and he goes, "Hey, if there's anybody in this world that can you can find out where our part is, we can make a lot of money." And I went in, and 18 minutes later, I was hooked. I couldn't help it because I went to Dex Screener and I looked at something and I went, "Oh, look at that! Oh, where did it go? It disappeared. It rugged out. Wait, what the hell's a rug, by the way? You know, because everybody's like, it's rugging, it's rugging." And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell this is yet, right? I'm still dealing with, you know, the ex parte process of Forex and trading and, you know, all kinds of things out there, derivatives and all that network. But I came in and the first thing that I really fell in love with was that the passion what everybody had, but they had no idea the skills and the tools to use. They were all using things like, you know, WordPress and, you know, GoDaddy's website tonight stuff. And I was like, you know, these websites are just atrocious. You know, we already have a marketing firm. Let's bring at the time it's Panther Pilot. Let's bring it out and help them build some websites. And I thought maybe we can get into the industry there. But then we came in and found out that everybody's broke. So we just said, you know what? Let's see what happens if we treat it like a lost leader. Give it away. Let's just give it away. And then we tried to find a way to create a system that was rug proof. And how do you do that? Well, one of the biggest rugger networks out there is Pump Fund, right? We all know that. So we built a launchpad system that does the opposite of that. You know, it doesn't allow you to rug, but you're still using Pump Fund. So go figure, right? Like we made a pink sale, fair sale system that launches on Pump Fund. And we pissed a lot of people off. You know, our first big launch, we had 18,000 people in that stream, and they were trying to attack us and steal our stuff. And my Ledger wallets all lit up. I had 4 Ledger wallets that are here in the office, and they all lit up requests from the wallets that I was using in the network for money and for access. And something was going on that night. It was crazy. But you're right. There is what do they say? It only takes a few good people to not do anything for the world of evil to take over. And I got tired of not doing anything, right? So how I can do things is that I'm a builder, and I come in and I want to help people build and structure the best way I can. I'm not a perfect person, but I'm far from that network of rugging. I want to just be able to help people build on that connection of what they want for success. I think you got a great opportunity to have a good coin. You just need a little help in the process. Collab the hell out of everything that we got in there. If you find a connection with people, just start meeting up and finding ways to get your word out. And that's where your success will become. Just like Sober's Coin's doing, just like Speed's hanging on, just like Tired Dad's in it. We're still in it. And there are some good things we're going to talk about here in a minute. But thank you very much for being here today. Please stay with us and enjoy the conversations with us for the rest of the day, rest of the show, if you don't mind. Good.
No, of course.
Right,
I always show up, man. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Now, Dolly, you know, in your world for Bougie, why don't you remind myself as well as others what the Bougie coin really is and how it's taken on its world?
Yeah, Bougie started with the book Rugged. I needed a mascot, so I went with the Shiba Inu. Thought that was good meta. Bougie, of course, is short for bourgeois, which is a term that is somebody that's working class that works their way up to becoming affluent, but they don't have the titles of nobility or aristocracy. And so I thought, a lot of people come to this industry for that. They come to this industry to become wealthy, and they come from many different backgrounds. And so we created basically a 4-page website. And then I was like, well, I've got my 20 videos for my trading. I'm going to add those in. So if you go to products, go to my menu and go to products. We can just go down that real quick. It'd be the easiest thing to do. Benefits, Bougie benefits. And so what I did is I set it up to where if you have $15 of my token, you can download the book for free in 10 languages. Then I put together the trading course. If you have $50 of our token, you can access my 20 videos. Then I created a meme score that'll launch in May. And that's like a credit score for meme projects that draws from 20 data sources. And then I like doing live events. I've got a beautiful farm in Georgia, just south of the Atlanta airport, which is easy for people to access. So I wanted to do some IRL events as well. So we're going to talk about collab. This is going to be a page where we can collaborate with other projects and put their products on this page. And if they own a certain amount of Bougie, they can gain access. They're basically unlockable products. And, I wanted to launch a project that couldn't be rugged. So I launched it 100% with DeFi protocol. So 89% of our supply is locked up in smart contracts, and the other 11% is in the liquidity pool. So we don't have a single wallet in our entire network that can rug the project. And I think our biggest wallet's like 3%. So our top 4 wallets, if you look at them on Dex Screener, those are the smart contracts. And, the wallet number 1 is our Lotto wallet that gives away 100,000 tokens every day to somebody that owns at least 1 SOL of our token and has downloaded the book. Our wallet number 2 is our team wallet, and that's vested at 3% a month over 33 months. So the team can't rug the project. Basically, we have about 0.8% per month inflation on our project. We've been as high as 500,000 was our high. We're sitting, right around 107. We had a guy dump on us the other night. He cashed out 13 SOL, and but I haven't sold any. I didn't get any tokens on the launch, but we're doing a nice consolidation sideways. We're building our base. We got 2,500 people on our X account. We've got 740 people in our TG account. Last week, we were the number 1 rating team on CT, and this week we were number 2, but we've been in the top 3 of Raid Shark bots for the last 7 weeks. But it's a very active community. I do a weekly update that I pin to the top every week, and I write a lot of content, so it's, you'll have to probably go direct. If you go to our link tree, bougie.one, that has all of our resources. But yeah, I've got about 100 grand in this project. I'm not going anywhere. Bougie is going to become a premium beverage line, and I'm starting with Bougie bottled water, which comes from the well on my own property. We've gotten all our tests done, and then I'm going to do a Bougie premium Icelandic vodka served in a sterling silver carafe. So we're going super high end, and then we're going to do a Jalisco tequila that will be served in a 14 karat gold carafe. And those carafes some of them will have hand painted bougies on them from our artist Jyoti. She's out of Sri Lanka. She was just featured on the cover of Glamour magazine in India. She's an amazing artist, and we're going to be doing high-end t-shirts, high-end hats. I mean, these things they're going to start at like $500. Some of these t-shirts and hats, they're not going to be cheap. So they're going to be bougie. And then, of course, we got the gold check mark, and all of our dexes are paid. We've got 5 of the major dexes paid.
That's amazing. Your gold, especially the gold check mark, that's huge. That means that you're really in it, and you have a lot vested in it. That's process. And sober. Close your ears. This is bougie. So you got to be a little careful.
Hey, if you're sober, you can hang with tipsy people, and
I know. Well, you're also over at the Tipsy Coin collab as well. Yeah. You don't have to drink. You just be a part of it. You get triggered.
What's funny is it's funny is I don't drink. I mean, I have a cocktail. Maybe I have a cocktail once a month, but I just know those are the three staple foods of the meme industry. You know, what we're selling, but it's, you know, I have really big contacts in the premium beverage business, and the distribution starting in Atlanta will be very easy for me. And I've been in tech, like I said, for 35 years and had 3 successful exits. And this is not the meme industry for me. This is the brand fi industry for me. You know, brand fi would be like if Pepe came and put a, you know, Pepe logo, or Nike came and put a Pepe logo, say on a pair of Air Force Ones, and made like 10,000 of them, and then assigned an NFT address to each pair. That to me is what brand fi, and then Pepe's got a 700,000 person community that Nike would have all of them talking about Nike. It would be free branding for them. And I think these big corporations, and I have a chapter in my book about this, but when these companies figure out how they can tap into these communities and do brand fi projects, it's going to be game on for this industry. It's $1 trillion industry waiting to happen.
Absolutely. So, God, I don't even know if this isn't alpha. This is a reality because it's happening in the next couple of weeks as well. We have started a process with NFTs in what we refer to as a fusion method. Yes, you can already put MP4s and MP3s into the network, but we also have now a way, and boy, I hope my guy doesn't kill me for this. My partner's going to kill me, to sort of fuse coins and other systems inside of it. And
we've done that already. Every one of our NFTs has 1 million bougie tokens infused in it. Yeah, that's our fourth wallet.
Yeah, this is a process that the average Joe can come in and fuse with the process. So it's not just the owner. So it's pretty badass, and I'm really looking forward to this because it has the potential to own an NFT and almost have it as a little mini wallet for yourself, and sell that process with that condition in there. Our smart contracts are worked out pretty well with that. But it's also an exception to make things like lottery systems and, you know, dressing characters to release for gaming networks, and that the average person can come in and put their inventory into a fused NFT that'll be in Q3 of this year. There is such a potential with the technology because it's raising so well, as you know, sometimes faster than the speed of concept for some. And for some, you shouldn't conceive anything. Go put all your ideas away, you know, because they're just there to hurt. Here, we have also founded a process with our Anvil bot. Well, an affiliate system is no big deal, right? Like, it's just an affiliate system that's in there, but it's also how the affiliate can be delivered and to what wallets. Like, if you put your affiliate system back into the wallet that runs the Anvil bot, you can create a constant buying term for everybody that uses your affiliate code to buy your coin and continue the buy of the coin. So we have these things that we're launching with our Anvil 2.5 that's launching here in less than 8 days at that point. So we're excited for this. But you're right. The industry of you know, brand fi and that mentality, our brand is Shogun, right? But the Shogun mentality for us, and I'm always big on brand. I have a Panther brand because I have a tattoo on my arm, right, that I've had since I was 17. I've kept with that brand what it means is honesty and integrity and hard work, right? The Shogun is there to protect everybody underneath it. So as we build these collabs, you're all going to be in that village of a Shogun. You'll be using the tools, you'll be using the processes, having the WebForge network, having all these other tools, you know, because there's so many other tools that we don't even talk about yet that are coming, that are already here, that nobody else knows that we're using, you know, and having our program team to be able to develop these collabs into something strong, little mini DAOs, all that stuff. So I'm very excited to have you on board here today and telling us about Bougie. Thank you so much. I love the fact that it's going to be about high class. I'd like to get you over to, I don't know if you're with the Tipsy Token Network yet, or if you're in that collab, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I would love to hear some of your ideas about bringing some of your contacts in for that as well. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Be glad to.
I'll have Shane reach out to you because he's really.
We had a conversation the other day, about an hour conversation. I was going to dinner with my wife, and we sat in the car and talked with him for a while. He's a super, super nice person, and you've got some great ideas. But I want to reiterate what the previous gentleman said, that there are a lot of people that do have a lot of respect and speak very highly of you. You know, doing it professionally in this space kind of goes unseen. It seems like the KOLs that, shill the biggest pieces of crap get all the attention. But I am noticing that is changing. Their impressions have dropped off tremendously. I think, X is making some changes to the protocol, but it'll really be good to see, people that are, and we saw the internet go through the same cycle after 99. Before 99, you could have a domain name and you could have a business plan and you could raise a few $1,000,000 and be public in 90 days doing a reverse merger or something. And then pets.com hit and they did 175 million bucks. They blew through it in 9 months and the whole industry said, okay, that's enough. This industry's got potential, but it's got to change. And after 2000, if you went into a VC without a revenue model, they threw you out of the office. So you had to have a subscription model. And you tried that before 2000, they threw you out. If you had a revenue model, they were like, no, it's all going to be free. We're all going to get rich and we're just going to keep taking companies public and and that's where I think Libra and Melania was the turning point. And that now seeing what happened with Ohm and there's a turning point happening in this industry, and there's going to definitely be some capitulation, until the big liquidity comes back in, and hopefully there'll be a flight to quality, where people say, I'm good with 100x over the year, and this trying to hunt 0.004% of tokens that actually make it is just too difficult.
It is, and it's trying to there's a lot of coins and networks that are out there that come in, they fail, and then they expect, oh, what if I relaunch, or what if I redo? You're in for insanity, right? You're doing the same thing over again.
Yep.
One thing that we found too, to talk about the models of subscription, I'm the king of reoccurring. I love reoccurring income. Mm-hmm. I give you a service, you pay for the service, I get paid, you keep the service. That's how it works for me. It's karate. It's, it was my network. It was my website network solution system. It was WebForge for a while too, because I had, before COVID hit, I had a marketing firm that had these services, SaaS services. I had 110 customers. They were all paying several $100s a month. I was doing very well. And then COVID hit, and I learned almost immediately. And I told them all, I said, all 110 customers, hey, if you want to keep the model, please keep the model. Pay what you can, not what I want, but what you can. If it's $25, it's $25. If it's $10, even if it's $1, if you can't come up with $1, then I don't even know what you're doing in business. I want you to still have the tools. And at that time, I couldn't get a single person to bite, and I came into this industry back in September of last year, and I came with people with the same model. And I said, listen, come and use them. I see that you got a website, but man, it's hurting. I'm not trying to make this a bad thing for you, but here's some tools that can kind of help you get some exposure and some systems in there. And nobody wanted to buy it. It was only like $50 a month. It was something really ridiculously low. I said, well, what would you do if I just gave it to you? And I gave it to them, and then everybody and their mother started using it. But what it comes down for me is with our Anvil bot, when it fired off, you could put one soul in it and it would last a week, creating volume up to about 30,000-40,000 in volume, trading at little small levels, up and down, up and down, up and down. And nobody was putting any more money in. And then it would last 2 weeks. And then at one time it lasted 6 weeks for us, and it generated so much and it made us money, and nobody was putting more money. And our model at that time was, we take 20% of everything you put in. So if you put in one soul, we take 20% of a soul. But nobody was putting money in because it was working too well. So then we switched to a subscription model, which is one of my favorite models. I give you a service, you pay me money. And nobody was buying in because the subscription may have been a little too high for what they needed. It was one soul a month, and it didn't work. We then graduated to one of the most simplest models, which is a transactional model. You use system. For every transaction you have, we take a percentage, and we lowered the percent down to very, very low. We didn't want to make a lot of money there. We just wanted to make sure that the model worked, and boy, did it. In fact, it worked so well, we had to go super quiet, because the other thing that we wanted to be able to do is to be able to give back to the people that use it. And we didn't have an affiliate program, and we didn't have it under microservices. What we found very easily when we came into this system was we had a single service, and you know about microservices, right, Dolly? I mean, it's very contained, right? When you have a single service, everybody's in the boat, right? And they're in the same boat. That means if we have 100,000 customers, there's 100,000 transaction systems happening all at once. It was very it was very risque because the more people, it became so excitable that people were crashing it and it was breaking. So we pulled it back a little bit. We didn't advertise as much and we started to build out. I hired my team in and got everybody on board and we started to build out. And now our microservices, and I was able to test it yesterday for our 2.5 release, and boy, is it fast. And I'm looking at, because I had 3 screens, and I had one with my data on it telling me, you know, what's our usage happening. And then we load tested this thing for me, and it had no it was like being in one of those comfort mattresses where somebody could be jumping on the bed on one side, but nobody's moving on the other. And I was so happy because this means it's unlimited. Because it's container ship, so it's unlimited. Then what does that mean? That means that I don't need all the wealth from this. I want to share it. So we're giving 20% commissions to everybody that brings somebody into this network. And why is that so important? Because I can make that whatever I want. I can make it 50%. I can make it 75% commissions if I wanted to. If I wanted to help out a community coin, I can do that. And nobody in this industry does that. And that's what we do. We build systems like what other people have, but not exactly. And we do it in the way to only be on the side of helping communities become prosperous. Because like I said, I don't need all the wealth, but I want to make sure that they're functional, that they work. Volume systems do work, not just bundled systems, but market making systems. And that's what the Anvil bot is a market maker. And when we found ourselves doing that, I can't tell you what the success is going to be like in the next couple of months, but I can tell you what I feel it's going to be. This is going to be one of those things that's going to change not just my industry and my company and my community, but everybody that's involved in it. Because every single one of you now, because there's hundreds of thousands of coins out there, but I don't have a sales team of 75,000 people. You know, how many coins are firing off every day in the world of Solana at this point? Does anybody know?
7,000 right now. It's
Yeah,
down to
right?
7,000.
It's down to 7,000, but that's a day. It was up. It was sitting at 30, 40, 50,000 just a couple months ago. There's
That's
no
crazy.
way that I can be in front of all that many coins. There's no way.
And you don't want to.
No, you don't, because you do want to have a little bit of clarity. You don't want everybody. When I say collab, I don't mean open the doors and let everybody in. I mean collab, like build relationship with people, find out who they are, right? Because you will get people who come in and take advantage, right? You will get the guys that don't have a pot to piss in and they're looking for a free meal. I get that. That's something different. That's charity event, right? That's not me just yet, but the concept will come for that. But in this segment of this little introduction, I appreciate every single one of you that contributed. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about on the state of crypto and how it's performed for you in your world? Does anybody have anything they want to come out with?
Me, I can. Personally, I'm not the crypto expert, but I've been holding my altcoin, and it's just it's going to be bullish long term. So I don't put money that I need to eat in it, but I know in the long term it's going to be good. But the crypto state right now, it's kind of scary for most, but I think it's normal.
I think you're right that most don't understand. Some may be ignorant of what the state of crypto really is. We are on a platform right now. Now, I want you to remember, let's just look at the world of Solana. What is Solana sitting at right now? Solana sitting at like 128, right? It dropped down last week to under $100. That concept of it dropping down, everybody was like, oh my God, Solana's falling. No. Listen, last year it was down below 100 as well.
$20.
But yeah, it was something like, where was it starting from? The string of where it started from. Solana's not breaking, it's adjusting. Just like we talk about these working platforms, it's just adjusting the mentality behind it, because there isn't other coins and other systems that are out there that are ease of use of Solana. There are some very profitable ways to do it, but the reason why Solana became so successful is because it had ease of use and low transactions. That's still true to today until something else comes out that's better. There might be things that'll be on the way, but where you're at in the state of Solana and crypto is that you got some pretty smart motherfuckers out there putting together systems and solutions, not just like myself, but that are there to make it a standard policy. Because I don't know about all of you, but sometimes I feel like I owned up a porn company, like I can't tell any of my friends what I'm doing. Mr. Quinton and I have family members when we go, what are you guys doing now? We're doing crypto. They're like, ew, like, what are you doing in that? It's like I'm doing something dirty, and I don't want that anymore. I feel Bitcoin has cut our teeth in the legalities of things, and with XRP starting to be in the news and all this other stuff, we're getting into this realm of significance, I should say, and that's really important to all of us. But Sober, I think you got a great opportunity to make some great collabs. You seem to be very easy to talk to and be a part of, and I appreciate what you've accomplished so far this week.
Thank you, man. Thanks for your support.
Yeah, we're here for you, buddy. Now, Jay from Tired Dad, man, you and I have a bone to pick because you went out and partied and sang karaoke, and I never got an invite.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Where are you located at in the world, by the way? This general vicinity.
In Finland, like we had the first like a summer day, like properly warm. So we decided that we're gonna quit the day at the office a little bit earlier and go grab a drink or one. But all of a sudden, that one drink turned into 15.
It turned into 15, as drink parties at karaoke bars should be. You should be there. And did you sing karaoke while you were there?
Yes. I love to sing, and I actually, when I was younger, I made a rap album. So I love to rap, and my go-to song is Eminem, "When I'm Gone." And
wow. Okay.
So I went for. I was pretty heavily drunk, so I went for like 5 times in a row for the same song.
With the same song?
Yes.
Oh my God, that could sober up people pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, I wanna comment on what you said about Sam behind the sober coin.
Yeah.
I don't remember where we met. I guess it was in Tardak community.
Yeah, probably.
And then we had he was having some hard times because he has been putting a lot of time and effort behind the token, and it seemed that it's not really like moving around. And we had a great conversation at their VC a while back, and we spoke about how as long as you're just committed and do the things essentially do the right thing, what you're supposed to do, because you believe in what you're doing, you will eventually attract all the right people by your side, and the success will eventually come anyways. And after that discussion, I think Sam has been putting even a lot more energy and time into it. I see him on X every day. Like he grinds every day. He comes and rates my posts at the times. I see other posts. He's just all over the place. And that
we're everywhere, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your talk did me really good, man.
Yeah.
Well, because you put the work in, that's important. Rating is not just about, LFGs and to the moons, going to all these big influencers. It's consistency. The value of a collaboration comes in when there is quid pro quo both on both sides. But it's tough because you can't be everywhere, but you can have an understanding, like when you see these people, that there's a reason why you're seeing them, because you do have a relationship, and compounding that relationship to involve them, is important, making sure that they have relevance. So no matter what collab you get with, you got to make sure that you have consistency in that process. They say the fortune's in the follow-up, right? That's always really important too. So communications, and we're putting some things together. We have quite a few launches that are happening. We have our Anvil 2.5 releasing next week. We have our NFT marketplace that's hitting, our fusion system with the NFT marketplace that's hitting. It's all very, very powerful. But after that, what happens for Q3 is we have noticed a big trend of collaboration. So what we're building is a network center. Our Shogun system was originally supposed to be that. We are now focusing on complete solutions in there that give you an opportunity to have collaborations, meeting rooms, all kinds of things that'll be in there, which is very powerful. This is not just a concept, it's actually being built and already being staged out, which I think is going to be really good for like organizations like Jay and for Tired Dad and others that want to have like a collab area that they can go to, and then everybody can track what everybody else is doing. Okay, your team does this, our team does that. It'll have a task management system. It's very, very powerful. We're very excited about it. But again, along with everything else that we're building, and we're extremely happy that we have this uniqueness to be able to do that. And thanks to Tired Dads and others that have been here with us the entire time. All right. I think at this point, I kind of want to drive our attention to a little bit of what's coming. Does anybody here have any alpha that they want to talk about that's firing off? I'd say, I'll give you an opportunity. If it is a little bit out, if it's like a couple of weeks out, that's okay. But anything that's firing off in the next couple of days, does anybody have anything? Nobody? Okay. Well, we have within the 8-day period, we have the Anvil 2.5. So we're going to come out with that. I'm going to trigger off the segment for the alpha right now. And we're back. I love that one. That's one of my favorite ones. All right. So listen, there is so many things that in our world of concepts that we try to build out. Now, normally in our alpha segment, we like to have things that are releasing in the next 2 weeks. And one of the things that we're releasing in the next 2 weeks is our AnvilBot 2.5. Sorry, 1 second here as I'm trying to pull up the network for it that houses the, oh, okay. I've been blocked out of my own system. Go figure. No, we have security on it. We're doing updates in it right now. So let me take you over and show you our website here. Our main service for the volume, this is the volume 2.0. It's already here. It's already now. We did not have an opportunity to do pump swap since it just fired out. And the Meteora coins that were out there. So we're still working on this. The Meteora coins is coming at 3.0, which is more than 2 weeks out. But the pump swap coins are there. That we'll be able to fire off with in our next segment of it. And it also has the affiliate program, which you can utilize. You can sign up for, and everybody that uses your link to sign up with, you will get a certain percentage of it. The beginning percentage is 20%, which is good within itself. That's a lot of money. Like if you get somebody who's generating, $1,000 a month in revenue from that, and you're getting $200 just from one contact of it, that is huge. There is so much opportunity, especially if you get a couple big coins that are in the industry that are firing off lots and lots of volume. We noticed that the average from every single client that we were having was generating about $30 a day in that process. And we had several hundred people come through our system in testing out. And that's what I was saying before, it was causing a huge load. But it's still working in there. Everything is good. We got those load variances fixed, and people are still in there using it. Now, the other thing that will be firing off here too is I got to go get it as well. Our process, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about, building out Tipsy Token. We were talking about here just a few minutes ago. And Tipsy Token has a relationship of drinks, of course, of a drink system, if you will. Like the first one was tequila. Now on April 27th, there is another token release, and I'm not going to tell you what it's called, but there is a whole thing that's happening. We're having a show on Saturday, this coming Saturday, which will have some people. We'll be talking to a lot of people about the Tipsy Token network. Its first coin was the tequila token. And when we made relationship with that, let me see if I can pull this up here. I don't know if it's going to come up. There we go. Come on. There we go. So what this is our NFT system. And it wasn't just about, all right, Max, go make an NFT marketplace. There's 1,000 NFT marketplaces. But remember what I said. I don't just build things like other people build them. We build them with the incentive to have the generalized space, everybody be able to utilize it, right? So this is our what we call the Shogun Fusion. What I was talking about with Tipsy Token is I was sitting down with a few owners of that at the time, and we were talking about what does a drink involve. Like, you're not just going to sit and drink out of the bottle. You're going to drink. You're going to make drinks with it. You're going to have ingredients. So we made this thing called the ingredient fusion, where you could take certain NFTs that the owner, that the artist makes, and combine them together to make a drink. So you apply the main, which is tequila. You may have a lime. You may have a salt, and you apply that process together, which was pretty powerful. So we put this thing together, and at first there was a couple of naysayers, so we got them out of the mentality, and we started to brainstorm this with my programming team. We then met one of our, it's called Hugo Bytes, and that is a AI generational network that we met with, and we vested them into our network, and we basically build them into our team. And we started to build this process called the Shogun Fusion. Now, this is where you're going to be, it's a simple marketplace, right? Like, same thing as everybody else does. You got minting, you got marketplace, you got, live auctions. You have a lot of stuff, that you can buy and sell, and your NFTs on it. 25% of everything that's made with this website goes to our Shogun coin. So if you're watching right now, make sure that you jump over to Shogun, because this is releasing in about 2 weeks. Our other system is releasing for the Anvil next week. But why I'm telling you this is, like, we're taking this network of that fusion system and applying it to many other modules. That means that we're going to be able to apply it into lottery systems. We're going to be able to apply it into characterizations for video games. So this fusion technique process is unique to us. It's proprietary to our network. It's very, very collective. There's even an AI generation system that'll be coming out in the second phase of this, that you could take two NFTs that you have, and the AI will make a combination of both of them and give you your own availability to be able to combine and fuse two major NFTs together. So we're very, very excited about this. And this has taken some time to build. We're on this now, I think, our 7th week, Mr. Quinton. Is that about right? 7th, 8th week? Or 6th week? I think we're on our 6th week.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right. So that's what's coming over in the next couple of weeks for us in Alpha. At this time, does anybody else have anything they want to contribute to the conversation today? We'll just call this the sad, or the say goodbye in the process. Does anybody here want to come out and talk about anything in there, or say anything to their community?
I love what you guys doing, Shogun. Eventually, when I'm about to use bot, I'm gonna use your bots.
I hope so. That'd be awesome, right? When the time comes,
Yes.
we'll teach you everything that there is behind it.
Yes.
We hope to see you in our network. Whatever you need for your website and systems, please let us know.
Sure, thanks.
Speed,
Yeah,
you
like-
there still?
Yeah, still here. Likewise, just wanted to say thank you. I'm on the Anvil bot 2.0. Looking forward to 2.5 coming out.
Oh, yeah. Very, very exciting. We have a lot of good stuff, especially with the Anvil bot in its new form, too. There'll be a condition to be able to do DCA in. There'll also be in, I think, by 3.0. Why are we talking about 3.0? 2.5 ain't even coming out yet. But 3.0 will have Meteor on it, and it will have something called the bundle system, just like Meteor. And we used to have Tsunami bot out there, but we found that was really, I wasn't feeling comfortable with doing bundled volume, because it really is only a service that wastes money. It really is. Like, it's fake volume, and that's tough. But our bundled volume is going to be a little bit different. And like we say, we try to change it a little bit, because you are going to still get some movement in the process. But the way that we do it, you're going to love. And I can't really talk about it too much there, but it is very exciting to come in the 3.0.
No worries, looking for it. And to tell you the truth, I've been using it on speed as well, and our volume has been pretty low.
Yeah.
And it served as well. So
Well, remember that the Anvil bot also works not just as creating volume, because we call this relevancy, right? So relevance to the DEX is, like, if you go a couple of days, you have zero volume. What happens? The DEX system, because it's so, like DEX Screener, they save searching processes, because if every single coin is every single page, their computing power is going to be nuts, right? So they have some requirements. You have to have volume within a 24-hour period. If not, then you're not searchable, right? And so if you take your CA and you go to DEX Screener and you had no volume for the day, it's not going to appear on the search.
Yeah,
so,
no, And I remember you telling me that, and that's exactly what we did. So it serves us really, really well.
And the good thing is that because it's per transaction, you could set it at a minimum of 0.01 Sol, and just trade a couple of pennies every couple of hours. You can have it set up to every 15 minutes trade 5 cents, 10 cents, and it's going to keep you relevant to the system. And what is it worth? It's less than 0.5%. So you're only paying 0.5% of a couple of cents on there. You're not paying anything. Instead of having a volume bot that you put like 4 Sol in, and they take 20% right off the top. For it to have value, it would have to be running for 20 years. So
Yeah.
we're
So we've used it, and 1 Sol, 3 weeks at 0.05, perfect.
yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Yeah.
Dark Raven, we appreciate you being here for Milo. We really are excited about what's about to come out for you. I hope that the music industry welcomes you with open arms in the process. And again, as musicians, for myself and my crew, we appreciate you being here today. And gone. Oh, he's back. Boy, yeah. First thing we're going to do is find better internet. Oh, he's back there.
I'm so sorry about that.
Hey, no worries,
I'm following you all along on the other side.
Yeah, no worries. So we appreciate you being here today. We thank you. Did you have anything you want to say to your community, or say goodbye to the?
I'm just really happy to be here and grow and be able to support everybody else that I'm a part of as well. I got a little bit of sober, and I got a little bit of everybody else's tokens as well.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
all of us, we're all gold, and I'm excited. Milo's growing and coming to life, and so is everybody else's prod.
Yeah, everybody has a value of growth, and when you combine yourself with others, diversification is huge. So that's always a big thing. So thanks a lot for helping us be very diverse. Mr. J, you got anything you want to come out and say at the end here?
Yeah. Have a great day and stay tired, everybody.
I love that.
Give yourself some of the hair of the dog or something, buddy. I think you kind of need that. Yeah, just
drink some water, brother.
Yeah, I think you took on the world of Eeyore at that moment. I guess I'll stay tired.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Always happy to be here, Max. Always
Absolutely,
happy.
buddy. I'm excited about tomorrow's show. We have at 1 p.m. Eastern right here at the Shogun Crypto area. We have a show with Tyre Dad and a few others. We're very excited about it. It's all about collabs. If you want to really check it out, please make sure you tune in. Say hello in the comments that you came from this show, so we know that we're getting transference. But Mr. Quinton, you got anything you want to final out with?
Just some love. Thank you everyone for being here. It's really interesting to hear all the different concepts on crypto, definitely being new to it. So I had a really good time. Thank you for my team at Shogun for doing your good work, continuing to make relationships and communicate with those outside here, because at the end of the day, no matter what the condition of the market is, it's all about keeping on going.
Absolutely. The condition of the market has been fickle. It's been up and down, but the communities have really started to build. And I'm really looking forward to some of the things that we're working with Just a Lotto, with Tired Dads, with some great, Jesse from Congress. There's a lot of people that we've created a collab with that have really started. This is the calm before the storm. And I'm telling you all this right now because as soon as our 2.5 releases, there'll be money going through everybody's hands and all the processes. And it's not something that's a promissory. You're going to be in charge of how much you do. The more you do, the more experience you get it out there and get that anvil out to others. You can have a rep that just does that. You can get one of your people to share it amongst 50 other people. And some of them will all be out there using it. Some, they'll have an opportunity. But I think there's a great network for some of you to make some extra money for your coin. And I'm going to show you some secret ways to use the Anvil bot to be able to flow back into your Anvil bot to get you some free volume coming from the network. All right. I appreciate all of you. As a last little bit of word for all of you today, into the next week, don't get wrapped up in the politics of what the industry is. We are a tiny little baby in this world of finance as meme coins go, as crypto is starting to come off. but we are getting to the eyes of people. We're sort of getting into adolescence, and we're getting our teeth cut. Just remember, stay strong, stay diverse. Somebody said earlier, don't spend the money you're putting on your table for bread every month into crypto. Spend it in tiny little chunks. Keep it very small. Keep it very diverse, because somebody's going to hit in that process. Don't go all in on anything in this industry. Have yourself very diverse. Keep yourself protected. Watch your wallets where you click on links. Don't get so worried like, oh, look, there's a free NFT. Be very, very careful over the next couple of weeks. They're getting smarter, and they're working harder to get your money to steal it. So be very careful. Verify everything. You see, like even Tire Dad had this thing a couple of weeks ago, and it's still out there every once in a while. They made an entirely new Telegram called Tire Dads, not Tire Dads themselves, but the scammers. And they put it in like, oh, we're going to be moving over. Put your Tire Dad in here to get it moved over to a new thing. And it's like some people fell for it. I almost fell. I went like, well, okay, I'll just go ahead. And I looked at it, and it was like, I was like, hey, something doesn't seem right. And so verify everything. Be very careful. The scammers are getting tougher. And keep yourself real. Have fun. But also remember that this industry isn't about a final destination. Have fun along the way. Mate yourself with some collabs that make you happy. It doesn't have to be the most profitable, but if you find a coin that you resonate with, find a way to collab with them. Especially all you great devs that are here and the ones that are watching, find ways to make yourself happy, not just with financial gain, but with maybe some spiritual gain. Like find yourself a sober coin, or find yourself a charitable organization to be a part of and offer services for free to help. Okay. Always provide value before your handout, of course. All right. I'm Trader Max. I want you all to go out and have a great day. Touch the grass, touch the sky. We appreciate you all. And as always, trade well.
Let's go.